ever seen a grid that lines across the sphere celestial? The science says they're contrails, but we know there's something bestial. A chemical compendium of elements quite various. We haven't got a sample, but we still know it's nefarious.
So, what's in the trails anyway?
There's strontium, aluminum, and barium, and chromium, and red blood cells, and white blood cells, and bromium, and strontium, chaff, mercury, and polymers, particulates of nano, and streptomyces, fiberglass, and worms. Entire can. We've seen the photos on the web and pics of planes with tanks inside those trails. We see up in the sky a chlorinated pesticide and sulfide arsenic, coal fly ash, and other noxious vapors. For details, here's a lengthy list of Marvin Herndon's papers. There's Rosalind on YouTube and the Minecraft Man on Rumble. The Shills and 7-7 see their science lessons crumble. A century of history of trails of condensation. Forget it, fresh from Florida, here's more state legislation. Chemtrails began in 21, I heard from concerned citizen, or maybe 18 years ago, 07. This is Peterson. You really trust the government to come up with a remedy? We're putting all our confidence in Robert Francis Kennedy
Jr., that is.
The planes that scratch their lines across the sky don't show on radar. At least that's what we've heard, and none of us have checked it so far. You want more proof, or just look up? That's the Skywatch Maxim. And don't blame us for shouting when some lunatic attacks. And we've got laundry lists of patents, and we've seen Dane's filming Doka flick. We know on heavy spraying days it makes all us believers sick.
Please, no bagpipes.
Some people try to claim they're clouds, but surely they're not serious. We saw the Shasta sample showing stuff that's deleterious. The planes go up like rockets or make grids like knots and crosses. Not like the clouds we drew at school that look like candy flosses. They say that contrails can't persist, it's all down to humidity. But we know better with our brand of self-assured stupidity. When water vapor hits cold air at -50, will it freeze? Of course not, and we know that with our chemtrail science expertise.
Your starter for 10. No conferring.
There's SAI and SRM and MCB and ARIA. I don't know what they mean, but using acronyms is scarier. I asked Alexa and she said that chemtrails make it bleaker. And who can argue physics with voice-activated speakers? The metals in the trails get zapped with Hobbs' top secret frequency. They try to keep it hidden, but we're wide awake so we can see. It might be done by DARPA or some agents of the shadow state. They dim the sun for Emma Rock and make poor Debs' house vibrate. This is all the chemtrail proof that's so far been discovered. But don't forget that David Keith is funding more at Harvard.
Big shout out to Iona Logo Fatu up on the X chats. Let's go. Oh, that's such a banger. Such a banger. Oh my God. Oh my God. What's up, chat? How are you doing? It's beautiful. It's in the evening. Big shout outs to Iona Logafatu on X for making that video. Oh, just makes me, my heart goes out. She gave me permission to mirror this video on the channel, but you know what? I just want to give her cred. So in the details of this video right now, you'll be able to see a link to my chemtrail playlist, and you can go check out her video that I just played and another one we're going to play at the end. Tonight we're talking about chemtrails and their full retard. If you do not know this by now, if you're one of those people that are still going, I want the old Jim Lee back. This Jim Lee that got replaced by the shadow government, the CIA, you know, grown in a laboratory, fake version of Jim Lee that's now talking. Yes, this same Iona who is the creator of the Contrail, Windy Contrail app. Yes, that is her. In fact, if you'll look right here, she is the creator of the Windy plugin. And I'd like to think that I had some help in crafting a better version of this. I could go to our DMs and show you that, but that's just, you know, TMI. So we're not going to go there. Yeah, I look like a clone, except that I've gotten better, you know, like, wrong chat. Let me get that out of the way. Like these guns are back. Like somebody showed me, linked me to a video that I did a while back, aluminum, barium, and chemtrails from space. And I was looking at it and I'm like, I look like freaking Skeletor because I was in such bad shape. For those who don't know, I joined the sheriff's department about on the 21st, so 3 weeks ago. And I'm in the best damn shape of my life right now, and it's only getting better. It's only going to get better. Pretty soon, I'm going to have like muscles on my cheeks, and my muscles are going to be so big, they're just going to be busting on the screen. But before we go any further, I want to just give a big shout out to my homegirls in chat, Stella Q and Bettina from Geoengineering Free Canada. They kept this a secret from me for an entire year. An entire year of my life went by. I did not know this was going on. And then, of course, they had to troll me. And what am I talking about? We have a children's book. Oh, look at this beautiful book, guys. Where Has Our Blue Sky Gone? By Stella Q, Bettina Engler, and Dan Fournier. If you guys don't know Dan the Man, Dan Fournier, you guys got to check him out. He's on Substack. In fact, whenever I'll write up all of the links that I'm going to show in this video, we'll put that on Substack and we'll give everybody a shout out because they all deserve it. In the book, what did they do to me in this book that they kept a secret from me? For those who don't know, Stella Q and Bettina are both admins in my Telegram chat. If you guys have not gone over there to join yet, you can go to connect.climateviewer.com or the front page of climateviewer.com. Join our Telegram chat. It's a growing community, over 1,200 members there, and you can go and speak to the authors of this book yourselves. They're in chat right now on YouTube's, and I really cannot believe that they kept this a secret from me for an entire year while working on it. And what did they do? Why does the plane do that? And why do they turn into clouds, Uncle Jim? Well, Daisy, when I used to fly those planes, yes, they made me a freaking pilot in the book, okay? There's Jim, Uncle Jim, the pilot, explaining why chemtrails are fake. Chemtrails are not a thing. They are cirrus clouds. Don't believe me? She said, serious clouds? Serious clouds? No, cirrus clouds. And it's right there. It's a great book. I mean, just absolutely phenomenally great book. I hope that you guys will check it out. If nothing else, buy it for a friend. If you've got that friend and they have not, been able to make sense of all this, even a child can understand this. It is absolutely phenomenally good. All of the artwork inside was done by Stella. She hand drew all these things, and there's even, who's that? Like, is this me? Like, honestly, okay. Anyway, you can get the book at chemtrailfacts.com/book. I've got it up on the thing right here, and it's over on lulu.com. It is only $16, guys. There is no reason for you not to buy this book. I'm not making anything of it. Kramos, maybe you can help with that. Yeah, Kramos is in chat talking about a Spanish version of the book. Hey, man, Kramos, get with Stella and Bettina. We can work that out. I'm pretty sure. Shadow government, spread the word, right? Grown in a laboratory, fake version for 16 bucks. Now talking, hell of a steal. Yes, you guys gotta get it, man. I don't make anything off this. This was their idea, and God bless them. At the very end, they gave me a little shout out, and they dragged me into a private, little Zoom call to spring this on me about a month or two ago, and they didn't have a link yet to sell it, and I've had to keep this a secret. But at the very end, they thanked me and put me in there, and I'm telling you, I cried. I'm not gonna lie, I cried. I'm very touched by this, and I'm so proud that you guys took the time to make this book, and it's a treasure. So I got the first copy. This is mine. Get your own, chemtrailfacts.com/book, and that'll redirect you. The link is in the details right now. Share it with your friends. So with that, let's get to the facts of chemtrail facts, like how this has gotten full retard. I just want to, before we get into this, I'm going to bring it up on the screen now, just so we can go ahead and have a peekaboo. That these chemtrail facts, this website that I'm working on, I typically work on a website for a year to a year and a half. And then you guys just don't hear from me at all because I'm just busy. This is what I love doing, is putting all this stuff together like I did, with weathermodificationhistory.com. So instead of doing that this time, I wanted to go ahead and let's put it out there. Let's go ahead and just, even though it's only like 10% done, it's still done enough to where I can show it to people. And that's the purpose of this video today. We're going to quickly rip through this because I want you guys to, I'm going to give it some context. So there's a lot of people that really don't understand why I've taken the position I have on chemtrails. And that basically is because there are a bunch of people acting like retards, grifting off your fear, and they are using the terms chemtrail and geoengineering in such a way that it is making it impossible for real activism against actual geoengineering to occur, which will ensure that geoengineering does occur, and it's slated for 2030. So for those who aren't playing along, the climate clocks that are ticking down around the world are ticking down to July 2029. That's when Trump's going to leave office. So, Vince, the book is at chemtrailfacts.com/book. It's also in the link, it's in the details right here. But, where was I? See, I need to chat. I love you, mean that I'll never get through this video. I'm going to try to just focus up here. Because these climate clocks are ticking down, because the EPA right now is rescinding the endangerment finding on CO2, because Lee Zeldin and, basically Donald Trump closed the U.S. Global Climate Change Research Program, the USGCRP. They shut down climate.gov. They released a DOE report, Department of Energy report, with Judith Curry in it, literally saying that no, global warming's not as bad as what they're saying it is. And even if we did all the things, it really wouldn't freaking matter. So since all that's going on, guess what's going to be inevitable? The climate cult is going to go, well, look at how much damage Trump has done to our emissions reductions goals. We're never going to be able to meet our, COP21 Paris Climate Accord goals. We're definitely not going to make net zero. So the minute Trump's out of office, we need to go ahead with geoengineering. We need to have this thing planned. This December, they're going to be arguing about geoengineering governance at the United Nations Environmental Assembly 7. Everything I just said to you goes in one ear and out the other because of all of the retarded chemtrail believers. The chembacills, the chemtards are really screwing up everything. Case in point, Tennessee banned weather modification. Tennessee banned geoengineering. Did that change the chemtrails whatsoever? We're not going to play dumb today. We're not going to pretend in an alternate universe that you guys are not talking about the planes making the white lines in the sky that turn into clouds. Did they go away? No, they did not. Did that law do anything to affect cloud cover in Tennessee? No, it did not. Why? Because the shadow government, the Illuminati, the secret government programs? No. The retardation, the idiocy needs to end, and it needs to end quickly. Florida did the exact same thing. Their bill passed. Weather modification ban, geoengineering ban. Have the trails in Florida changed at all whatsoever? No. And will they? No, they will not. Why? Because you're not willing to deal with the issue. You're not willing to understand terminology. You don't know anything about this history. And everybody that wants to try to put me in a little box and say, he's Jim Lee, the jet fuel guy. You guys can really kiss my butthole at this point. I have done more to blow wide open the entire history of weather modification, geoengineering, HARP, everything there is regarding atmospheric modification. I've done it better and covered more of it, and I've got more memorized than you'll ever learn in the rest of your life. So I'm tired of the character attacks, and I'm now at the point where this is me. This is the real Jim Lee. I'm going to stand up. Will the real Jim Lee please stand up? It's chemtrails are full freaking retard time. And today, y'all going to learn. And I'm going to say it with my chest because I'm tired of monkeying around with you people. The reason why nothing has changed is because of chemtards, fear porn pushers out there every single day and their retarded cults that literally troll all over every single social media, thinking that you're going to change me in any way, shape, or form. A man convicted with the truth, armed with facts, and a backbone made of steel will never bend. This knee does not bend. So, with that being said, I'm going to teach you today what the facts about chemtrails are. Just the abridged versions, just the 10% website done version. And then I'm going to mock some chemtards even more at the end of this. Oh yeah, is Marjorie Taylor Greene going to save us all? Is her new House bill, House Resolution 4403, to prohibit weather modification in the United States for the purposes of, doing the Clear Skies Act? We're going to ban weather modification in the entire United States. Guess what? This has got zero chance of passing. Zero chance of passing. And if it does pass, it will do nothing. Mark my words, bet my left testicle, it will do nothing to change planes creating cirrus clouds. That's right, cirrus clouds. They will do nothing to change planes making cirrus clouds. Why? Because we have understood how cirrus clouds have been created for a very long time, and people are just, they're freaking bots. They're NPCs, and they don't want to understand. So I decided to create a website about it. What is this website about? Airplanes emit trails that linger, disperse, and form clouds that block the sun. We are dedicated to restoring sunny skies. We being me and you, the people who actually have finally broken free from the matrix. You're not imbeciles. You're not just easily led, or you've been just like me. You've been led by charlatans for a long time, and then finally you realize, you know what? Something doesn't smell right here. I'm going to go ask questions that I probably shouldn't and get to the truth. And once you get to the truth, you're freaking done. You're just freaking done. You're like, how dare they lie to me this much? How dare these scumbags, the Dane Wigingtons, the freaking Redacted, the People's Voice Sean, Jimmy Dore. I mean, I could go on ad nauseum about Alex Jones. All of somebody on Rumble said to me, why don't you care, Jim? Why don't you get on those shows and tell everybody like it is? Do you think that they're going to put their monetization, their gravy train? Don't get it twisted. People call me the shill? Like, dude, I'm literally working at the sheriff's department. Like, that, I have no time for this shit. I make time for this shit because I'm passionate about it, and I'm the most skilled motherfucker on the internet at doing this. I code my own websites. I read my own research. I understand every damn bit of it. And I've been saying for 10 years, I'll debate anyone, anytime. They will never let me on those shows. I ain't gonna be on no Joe Rogan. I ain't gonna be on any of these shows because you know what? You can't handle the truth. And they will never let it fly. So it's up to you people in the chat, the people watching this video, to read this website, to share it with other people, share this video with other people. Say something in the comments. Please drop a like on this video. Drop a like, leave a comment, share it in weird freaking ways, because you are the resistance. You're our only hope, Obi-Wan Kenobis of the internet, because guess what? The fear porn industrial complex is strong. What am I talking about? Let's cut the bullshit here today. What is a chemtrail? Simply put, a chemtrail is a chemical trail released in the sky. With this oversimplified definition, a stream of water could be considered a chemtrail. That's right. Because why? It's a stream of water. It could be a chemical trail. Dihydrogen monoxide. Oh, what's that? That's H2O. That's water. So a dihydrogen monoxide chemtrail is you in the backyard spraying your water hose. That's a chemtrail now. However, that would make almost everything a chemtrail, rendering the word meaningless. Am I right? So do we understand where we're going with terminology? Because terminology matters. This is called slave speak. This is language that maintains a master-slave relationship. This is the use of words for perception management for propaganda. If you don't understand that mind control is not microwave beams and Gwen Towers, it's freaking words. Joseph Stalin said, ideas are more powerful than guns. We would not let our enemies have guns. Why should we let them have ideas? Because words are attached to ideas, and ideas are bulletproof. And once they grow legs, they can never be put out. They can never be stopped. I am not under the delusion that I can convert every single chemtrail believer into an actual geoengineering activist and someone who wants to fight flight pollution, planes making clouds, acid rain, causing aluminum to be more bioavailable by changing soil pH. No, I am not under that delusion. I do not have the Jedi mind power, okay? And I'm not the internet's freaking police neither. But at the same time, I see my purpose as being the voice of reason, doing my education to try to educate other people's. Always a student, sometimes a teacher, never an expert. Says it right here. Never an expert. I will always be learning. I'm going to teach when I think that I've got it right. I'm pretty damn sure I've got it right, because since I testified at the EPA in 2015 in a testimony on C-SPAN about this, I've been saying the same shit for 10 years now. People still don't get it. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. So therefore, we need to dig a little deeper to understand what the majority of people mean when they use the slang term chemtrail. People often use the terms chemtrail, weather modification, and geoengineering interchangeably, but few actually understand what these words mean. Being able to understand the different terminology is key to understanding chemtrail facts. Interpreting what is happening in the sky above us is going to require you to have a firm grasp of terminology and understand what each of these technologies intend to produce. So I made a quick little reference chart here for everybody. Geoengineering, the most commonly used term in the world. It is very specific. It means things like stratospheric aerosol injection. Links provided on all of these. So you can go and learn about each one of these terms and what they mean, and then learn that, this is stratospheric geoengineering, and these are 27 reasons it's a bad idea, with only 3 good reasons that they would even try to do it. That's stratospheric aerosol injection. Marine cloud brightening, you can learn about that, like the silver lining marine cloud brightening boats. All of this stuff is linked so that you can get as deep as you would like to get on it. Contrail cirrus cloud seeding or thinning. The idea of melting away clouds right here, these contrail cirrus, these are all different types of cirrus clouds. And they're made by planes as well. And this is called cirrus cloud seeding. It is the idea of melting those chemtrails away. It is a geoengineering technique. It was mentioned in that Biden report. You know, the one that everybody at all those, testimonies in Tennessee and Florida and Rhode Island and New Hampshire and all these places, they hold up that 2013 Biden report and they're like, but Biden has, the paper and the geoengineering in it. It literally says on the first page in the first paragraph that they were going to fund research into stratospheric aerosol injection, marine cloud brightening, and CCT. Cirrus cloud thinning. Nobody even knows what any of this shit is, yet they keep holding it up in these testimonies to ban my chemtrails. Most important part, geoengineering does not create visible clouds. I cannot stress this to you enough. Most people do not, under any circumstance, understand that geoengineering is literally the idea of whitening the sky. In the case of stratospheric aerosol injection. In the stratosphere, planes don't make clouds. The chemicals they dump wouldn't make clouds. It would make the sky whiter. Quit saying geoengineering like you know what the fuck you're talking about, because you don't. You don't. You've done no work. You've done no studies. I'm talking about you, Jolie Diane at zerogeoengineering.com. I'm talking about you, Matt Lamon, with your Franken skies you ripped off from my website. I'm talking about all of you. You keep saying this word geoengineering. I don't think that word means what you think it means. Yes, Princess Bride quote. Weather modification looks like this. Cloud seeding with burn-in-place flares, with dropped-base flares, with different chemicals, cloud seeding, cloud ionizers, actually like using electric ionization methods to do that thing. It kind of looks like this. Here, where's my picture at? I had a good diagram of it. So cloud seeding works like this. You have traditional cloud seeding where they dump chemicals into a cloud to add to it to make more rainfall. And then instead of using that, new method, ion generation. Use negatively charged ions, which just get other cloud condensation nuclei like dust, mold, bacteria, mineral dust, dirt. Just get them to stick together. At the end of the day, the only thing you need to make it rain is water vapor, a cloud condensation nuclei, and some form of ionization to make the first two stick together. Cloud ionization is making the first two stick together, and it's actually cleaning the air. I'm not saying I advocate for it. I don't like geoengineering. I don't like weather modification. I think it all should be banned, but damn it, people should at least understand what they're talking about. Hurricane modification, even lasers. I've got that in there. Climate Viewer News. This is my Substack report on it. Graphene and directed energy rainmaking in the United Arab Emirates. It's linked right there on Chemtrail Facts. Read all about it. Laser-based rain triggering demonstration and remote sensing technology at the United Arab Emirates Rainfall Enhancement Program. I'm telling you, when people go, he doesn't really talk about these things. Oh, well, he's kind of just skirting the facts. Oh, he just says chemtrails are fake and gay. No, dude, bro. All of these things are real. I'm linking them to you. I'm telling you each of these individual things are real. They have nothing to do with Delta or Southwest or Spirit Airlines or the United Arab Emirates Airlines or any of these planes making freaking clouds that block out the sun. They are not the same thing. These are not the droids you're looking for. So get it together. Get your feces consolidated. Learn about this stuff. Poison. Poison is real. Planes spray poisonous material. Long history of it. Pesticides and herbicides. Don't believe me? Come over here and look. Over on the Climate Viewer report, once again at climateviewer.news. That is my Substack. If you scroll down here, you can just look for yourself. I'll show you the numbers real quick. This is going to make you want to throw up. 38 million pounds of sulfur just in 1 year on 4.5 million acres in California. Mineral oil, dichloropropane, 9.7 million pounds on 57,000 acres, 2.2 million acres on 5.1 million pounds of glyphosate. Yes, people fly helicopters, small planes, they spray all these. This is lit from the top 100 chemicals by pounds in total statewide pesticide use in 2022, just in the state of California. Just in California. Chemtrails are real. Again, does not make visible clouds. Weather modification does not create clouds. This is the important part. None of these three create clouds. Adulticides. Again, on Climate View Report, U.S. Air Force admits chemtrails. Adulticide. I use the chemtrail word. I'm a freaking hypocrite. Bro, I'm trying to get your attention and point out all of these things so that you get it. I went on Del Bigtree's Highwire. I mentioned the Youngstown Air Reserve Base. They did a FOIA, and as a result, we got like close to 4,000 pages worth of this stuff. And these are the sprayers that people are telling you they're from the chemtrail planes. The chemtrails that you're seeing over your house, the white lines in the sky, are coming from these pumps and pipe. But this is actually the modular aerial spray system from Youngstown Air Reserve Base. This is what it looks like when they're spraying. This is actually a herbicide that's being sprayed here. And these are the pumps and pipes. So this is the mass system. This is a C-130. For those who don't know, look it up. It's a propeller. Those are propellers on the plane right there. That is a C-130. And this right here is the pipe that sticks out the side and sprays the chemicals out that kill the mosquitoes and things that they spray. They can spray for oil spills, for killing mosquitoes, and for defoliation, just like Agent Orange. They still have like chemicals like Agent Orange today. They're all listed right there in the FOIA. But this is not in the back of a freaking Delta Airlines plane making clouds in your sky. Get right. So this is the kind of stuff that drives me absolutely crazy. Oh, but what about my secret government programs, Jim? That could never, why aren't you bringing that up? I literally wrote this shit in 2013. It was one of the first freaking articles I ever wrote on this. 2013 on climateviewer.com. Weather warfare and defoliation, about all of Operation Ranch Hand, Operation Trail Dust, with all of the rainbow herbicides, not just Agent Orange, 19 million gallons of herbicides, not just Agent Orange. They are called the rainbow agents. There were many of them. Going through bug warfare like Operation Big Itch, Big Buzz, Mayday, Dropkick, all of the unethical human experimentation, U.S. biological warfare, OperationSunshine.org pages on biological warfare, stuff you've never read in your freaking life, make you go insane. All the way down to the zinc cadmium sulfide sprayings that happened all the way through the 1950s, through the 70s, Operation Large Area Coverage. Yes, I know about these things. I've literally wrote them on my damn website in 2013. It was one of the first things that I ever wrote up. And this is all of the sprayings that occurred, because I did my homework. So am I saying that this isn't going on today? No, I'm not. But I can tell you this, in every single case that I showed you just now, none of those made visible clouds. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Niente. Nine. None. None made visible clouds. So make it make sense to me, because I'm starting to lose my freaking mind here. Update. This is in 2015. Commatives and terrorism, all the things like literally the different types of chemical weapons that they're using today, like commatives. Most people have never even heard of these. Lethal agents, blister, blood, choking, nerve agents, psychological agents, incapacitating agents. Anybody ever heard of a malodorant? vomiting agents. You've heard of tear gas, I'm sure. But anyway, Joint Non-Lethal Weapons Directorate, all of the different things. This is literally a chemtrail generator inside a plane to take out terrorists. You know, like literally chemtrails in your plane. The gay bomb. It is a real thing. You cannot make this stuff up. This is the Joint Non-Lethal Weapons Directorate's chemical weapons program, which still goes on to this day. It was from the sunshineproject.org. Their website has been deleted. It is only available on archive.org, and it probably will be deleted from there in the near future. These are the high contaminant labs and other facilities for the U.S. Biodefense Program, where all the biological weapons are. So am I trying to tell you that there are no evil, programs where they're building things like the Wuhan Chew and all these things? No, we know that these things exist. Here's the difference. I'm telling you, they don't make clouds that block out the sun. Use your common sense on this one. Trust your gut. Don't trust me. Do your research. Go find some photos of these secret programs. I've listed a whole shitload of them for you. Show me one photo where they're flying at 40,000 feet, making clouds that block out the sun. And then it'll make sense to me. Oh, it won't. Gonna race through the rest of this. Sounding rockets, yes, may create visible clouds. Why? You can see them freaking clouds right there. You want to see them? Go like this. I'm gonna scoot to the end here. This is a sounding rocket going off. Let's see that at 5 times speed, real quick. You just click the link. It'll play right there in a window. Boom, sounding rocket going off. Barium and strontium, right there. That's barium and strontium. And then trimethyl aluminum. Watch at the bottom. Big gray trails coming out. That is trimethyl aluminum. This is a sounding rocket. It is making ionization clouds in space. These are sounding rockets. They make visible clouds. As you can see, this is at night, and these clouds are visible with a dude who has a camera. Big freaking difference. Main difference is you've never seen a sounding rocket in your freaking life. And if you have, you're the rarity. You're the exception. Okay? So that's the point I'm trying to make there. Military operations. There is one case where weather warfare equals cloud creation, and that is using carbon black dust. There is a long history of this. Weather modification using carbon black to increase cirrus cloud cover. These are the clouds that we're seeing in the sky, cirrus clouds. When a contrail fans out and it blocks out the sun, it is no longer considered a chemtrail or a contrail. It is no longer considered a persistent contrail. It is considered a cirrus cloud. Why would the military want to do that? Maybe they were over Area 51 and they don't want anybody to see the new B-2 bomber or the F-47 fighter. So they can deny visual satellite or high altitude reconnaissance. They can block out spy satellites in space by creating cloud cover that not only defeats visual satellite, it also defeats infrared satellite. So can't even see heat signatures on the battlefield when they use this technology. In addition, decreased light level for nighttime operations. This was from a slideshow by Arnold A. Barnes Jr. in 1997, and it said current capabilities, cloud modification for surveillance coverage, create/suppress cirrus/contrails. The United States military in this document is telling you we can make contrails or we can get rid of them. On demand and with receipts. I didn't make this stuff up. Click the freaking link. Go here. 9 carbon black dust posts. These are the history of it from hurricane modification to here's the weather test technology symposium 97. Scroll down. You can read all about it. All of the references are still here. This is the original link on web.archive.org to Arnold Barnes. This is dtc.army.mil. I did not make this up. I just do my damn homework. And you could read this yourself right here. And this is where I got the PowerPoint presentation from Dr. Arnold Barnes on army.mil, not a conspiracy website. I do my freaking homework. And this is the original slideshow. Test Technology Symposium 97 on weather modification. Shows all of the stuff from Air Force 2025, owning the weather in 2025. Talks about the NMOD treaty. Talks about HARP. Talks about carbon black dust for making it rain, floods, or making drought as a weather warfare. And you guys have never heard about carbon black. This is the only channel on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, anywhere on the entire freaking internet you will ever hear the term carbon black and weather modification, weather warfare ever been mentioned. Why, Alex Jones? Why, Redacted? Why? You guys aren't interested in the truth? I thought you guys were truth tellers. No, it's all looking like black propaganda and fear porn to me. But anyway, this is the only example that I can give of, literally the military saying we make clouds. Okay? All of the other technologies I just mentioned do not make clouds. But what makes clouds? Chemtrails. They make clouds. So all three of these, sounding rockets, carbon black dust, long history with that. If I go back to that link, in fact, if you come back here and you scroll down, you'll actually see that all the way back in 1958, this is when it was invented. U.S. Navy creates and destroys clouds using carbon black. Don't believe me? Read them and weep. Navy scientist creates clouds, breaks them up. We dropped 1.5 pound dry packages of carbon black dust and we produced a single cloud with each drop. Dr. Florence Van Straten, 1958. Carbon black controls clouds. Carbon black cloud seeding makes weather to order. 1958, October. Navy creation destroys clouds. Ordinary carbon black is used. That's right. Create or destroy clouds on demand using carbon black. 1958. The other paper I just showed you was literally from 1997 with Dr. Arnold Barnes from the United States Air Force Hanscom Air Force Base, Air Force Phillips Lab. And he's saying the same thing that they've been doing since 1958. Should we be surprised? No. Those who forget the past are doomed to repeat it. If you're ignorant of the past, if you don't know this history, then of course I can't blame you for being taken by these charlatans. Get educated. That's why I created chemtrailfacts.com. To sum this up, we have literally only covered the terms. So to recap, geoengineering does not make clouds. It does not create clouds. It cannot create clouds. There is no example of geoengineering creating clouds. Weather modification does not create clouds. It has to have clouds in order to modify them. Poisons, all of the chemical trails, all of the evil things, they do not make visible clouds. They may be temporarily visible as the liquid falls. That's it. They're not going to make clouds that stick around and block out the sun. If you don't understand that, come here, do a little bit of research. It'll take you like maybe 20 minutes total to go through all these links, and then you'll know beyond a shadow of a doubt. And then you can go ask ChatGPT or Grok or whatever the hell you want to do, and you'll know I'm right. These people are wrong. And then maybe you'll hold them accountable for it because it matters. Because I'm really sick and tired of everybody abusing this subject to death. So what are we saying? Let's break it down. I'm going to break down the argument very clearly right now. Chemtards, what are they? Contrails disappear, chemtrails stick around. And this should just say the truth. Contrails can spread and turn into man-made cirrus clouds. Cirrus homogenetus. Cirrus homomutatus. Cirrus clouds. CIRRUS. But this, you can't get this out of people's head. Contrails disappear, chemtrails stick around. I'm going to go one by one through all of these things. Eventually, the entire web page is going to break all this down, and I'm going to have an entire page dedicated just to my dedicated spray pumps and pipes. Every single one of them I've ever seen where it came from, what it really is, and why they lied to you. I'm sick and tired of these assholes using people. So, created by dedicated spray pumps, e.g. pumps, pipes, nozzles. Contrails, the truth. Jet exhaust and atmospheric conditions determine whether or not clouds form. Period. Broken lines, intermittent trails due to on-off switch or system malfunction. Truth, intermittent trails due to diverse atmospheric conditions. This one is probably going to be the hardest pill for anybody to swallow because it takes a lot of understanding. It takes a long time to actually learn what the hell is going on up there at flight altitude and understand where contrail forming regions are, what ice supersaturated regions are, and how the different temperatures and relative humidity affect cloud creation as it pertains to aviation. Increased cloudiness. Why is it, I remember blue skies. Why don't I remember seeing this when I was a kid? According to the chemtrail narrative, more clouds due to increase in budget for spraying. More planes, more often. They got more pumps and pipes doing it all the freaking time. Contrails. More clouds due to increased flights and social awareness. Stick around for the end of the video. I think you're going to be really shocked when you see the chart. Harm only visible when spray systems are turned on. No clouds equal no spray day equal no harm. This is so flawed. This is wrong. So wrong. Truth. Jet exhaust harms life and environment regardless of visible contrail cirrus. Translation. Even though you don't see any clouds today, even though the planes aren't leaving streaks in the sky, even though they're not blocking out the sun, they're still harming you. Whether you like that fact or not, this is a pollution issue. I've said it in 2015. I'm saying it today. This is a pollution issue. Once you realize that planes are a pollution issue, then you can actually do something about it. Until you actually come to that realization, have your come to Jesus moment and go, Lord, please forgive me. I was an idiot. I was, terrifying my neighbors. The old lady next door, I convinced her that chemtrails were real. She wouldn't even walk her dog on days where there were planes with stripes in the sky because of the chemtrails. And I'm sorry for misleading her and misleading myself and destroying my body and my brain and my temple that, you're supposed to inhabit. Please forgive me for being an idiot. I now see the light. Because fear is a mind killer. That's what I abhor more than anything. Rapid fire time. Check the evidence. Now, this is going to be all your homework. You guys can go to chemtrailfacts.com. I'm not going to force feed this down your head, but basically do the links. Schmidt-Appelman criterion, click the link. It's going to show you exactly what that is. Basically, this is a algorithm, a little chart, a quick way to figure out when you look at the sky, is this the right conditions for contrails to form or not? And what determines whether or not they're going to stick around? Well, these are called ice supersaturated regions. If you go click the link, you're going to go to dlr.de. This is like Germany's NASA. This webpage, old AF. This is literally March 2003. When I started my research on this back in like 2008, this was one of the first things that I came across that made me go, what the hell is an ice supersaturated region? Well, I just stuck this link in there just to prove a point because you can go read all about it everywhere, but this was way ahead of its time. This page in particular. But the actual references for the Schmidt-Appelman criteria come from Ernst Schmidt and Herbert Appelman, and the links are right here. So you can actually go read the originals. Oh, wait, this is 1941. Want to see something freaking crazy? Really freaking crazy? Check this out. This is 1941. This is where they determined the calculations to figure out will contrails form or not. And once you get all the way down here to the bottom, which is pretty freaking priceless, I might add. What's that? This is 1941. I thought these things didn't exist in 1941. I mean, what the hell is that? This is from a photo from 1941, people, where they were explaining when contrails are. Oh, look, it's the rope-a-dope chemtrail. 1941 version in German. Don't get played. Get educated. All of the actual scientific references are right there. You can read them yourself. And then read yourself some Ulrich Schumann, the world's preeminent scientist on this topic. And you can read on conditions for contrail formation from aircraft exhaust. Download PDF link. I backed up all of these so you can just download them directly from the website. These will actually take you to the original website so you can see it for yourself on, where it was originally posted. But anyway, and then formation properties and climatic effect of contrails. And that was 2005, Ulrich Schumann. But it goes like this, guys. If the Schmidt-Appelman criterion is satisfied, you will have contrails that form. They may not stick around. If it doesn't satisfy the Schmidt-Appelman criterion, no contrails form at all. If it satisfies it and you have contrail formation, if there's an ice supersaturated region, you get persistent contrails. If there is no ice supersaturated region, there's just going to be a short line that's going to disappear. References right here. Steps in contrail lifetime and effects on climate. Seconds later, there's a visible gap between the engine and the contrail formation. That is the amount of time that it takes for the engine exhaust to cool, the water to condense on the black carbon, soot, and metals, the particulate emissions from burning jet fuel. Water vapor condenses on particles that then turn into ice. If the region they're flying in is an ice supersaturated region, that will determine how long they persist. How long will they turn into contrail cirrus? Tens of minutes or tens of minutes to hours long. Decreasing forecasting skill, increasing importance to climate as you go up this chart. This is science. If you're not into science, if you don't like science, you're never going to get it. You're just never going to get it. Jeff's in chat right now, dropping bombs. And he's dropping the University of Wyoming upper air sounding charts. This is where you actually determine the Schmidt-Appelman criterion. And you can go there, and this is what it looks like. Just going to grab that from you real quick, Jeff, so I can show it to everybody. Why are there no dots on my map, man? Bruh, do man. What the hell? Why is the map dead, dude? Like, really? 809. Okay. Let's go back. So, in any one of these, you can just click on it and it'll give you all the numbers that you need to make these determinations. But there's a way easier way, and I'm going to show you this. And these are basically, as you go, these numbers get smaller, you're going up in altitude. The first row here, these are the millibars. Pressure in HPA, that's hectopascals. Temperature in Celsius, dew point, relative humidity, mixing ratio, all this stuff. Yeah, it was a bad link. Good job, Jeff. You made an ass out of me on my own damn show. Everybody admonish Jeff in chat for sending the bad link. Bad Jeff. Bad Jeff. See, I could have just got it from my own link, but, he put it there, so I just clicked it, trusting that Jeff would give me a good link. Instead, you're making me look like an asshole here, Jeff, on my own show. Appreciate you. Just picking. Anyway, these are radiosondes. They are weather sounding balloons. That's what they go up there and they do the testing with to make these determinations. We're going to get into that in just very quickly. So here, contrail exhaust. This is from exhaust. It's directly from the engines. It is in the right conditions. It is making contrails. The vortices you're seeing here are wingtip vortices. That's why they roll inwards. This is an extremely wet situation here. B, aerodynamic contrail. This is not created by jet exhaust. This is literally created by the wingtips. Want to see a good example of that? Let's go to the most famous, most abused chemtrail video in the world by KC-10 driver. I just want to point out, now this video is used in the dimming. It's used in every single video the People's Voice Sean mentions. To Sarah Searby, I've never heard so much poppycock. Do you know the last time somebody said poppycock to me was the prick from the Sierra Club when I was testifying at the EPA hearing in 2015? He was full of shit too, and he was in denial. That's called copium. Just because you think what you're hearing is poppycock means that you're an idiot. And this video is definitely for you. If you actually want to look at this, the original KC-10 spreading chemtrails spoof video by KC-10 driver, the guy who uploaded it 14 years ago. This is the original unadulterated video that started all the fuss. It is completely authentic and no camera tricks were used. It is simply a couple of KC-10's information, and the audio you hear is just us poking fun at the chemtrail conspiratorists, whatever the hell that says. I knew when I shot the video that this would be catnip for the chemtards out there. However, the contrails have an odd way of starting and stopping, but that is easily explained with physics. It's no different than lenticular clouds that form over a mountain or fog that flows from an open freezer. So stop being so gullible, kids. There are truly bad things in the world, but this isn't one of them. And yes, you can hear the two pilots making fun. This is literally two KC-10 refueling planes in formation, and the guys are talking about it. They're like, I shouldn't be recording this.
You see him spraying that chemtrail?
Yep. Feels like we're above it.
I know.
Otherwise we'd be dead right now.
I'm gonna put this on YouTube.
You videoing right now? Oh God, don't video right now.
It's like it's spraying out of the top of his wings.
It's like it's spraying out of the top of its wings. That's the co-pilot literally laughing his ass off at all of you. Just laughing at you. And this video is used as evidence in the dumbing in every video. Every chemtrail video you've ever watched, you've seen this shit. This is the original. These are the people who recorded it. They're explaining to you it was a joke. You don't get it. Joke's on us, apparently, because people still to this day don't understand what an aerodynamic contrail is. Cloud holes, disk trails, these are like hole punch clouds. Anyway, different examples, persistent contrails, contrail cirrus, covering all of that. Looks like Spain, that's actually Germany right there. Anyway, different examples of different types of contrails and different formations. What about Dane Wigington? Because I recall very specifically that at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, he said this in the dumbing.
This engine, a high bypass turbofan jet engine, this is the engine that is on all military tankers and all commercial carriers, is in essence a jet-powered fan. 90% of the air that moves through this engine is non-combusted. This engine by design is nearly incapable of producing any condensation trail except under rare and extreme circumstances. And again, we have film footage of aircraft flying at altitude with nozzles visible.
I can't with this motherfucker. I really can't. This is at 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the dimming. This is, for those who don't understand actual psyops, I got called a psyop earlier, and I was like, me, the guy with 34,000 subscribers on YouTube who like makes no money doing this shit, I'm the psyop, but the guy with almost 30 million views on a film that he made, which he runs Google ads for, isn't the psyop. So if you're willing to believe that what he just said here with the high bypass turbofans are nearly incapable of creating contrails, and that the little pump and pipe you see here,
Aircraft flying at altitude with nozzles visible,
we see the nozzles
turning
visible,
on and off.
and they turn on and off.
That is the end of the argument.
That is the end of the argument.
Since even before...
No, this is not the end of the argument. Debate me, Dane. Debate me. Like, I will debate you anywhere, anytime. I will wreck your shit just like I did in 2014. You threatened John Massaria not to release the audio because I made a fool of you then. I will make a fool of you now. I will do it again anyway. I probably, at some point when I get the time, will literally roast the entire dumbing all the way through. And you will not copyright claim me because there's not going to be anything you can do about it. Anyway, this is provably false. Here's the part he's lying to you about. High bypass turbofans actually create more contrails. They create more contrails. Dumbass Dane Wigington. And you know this. This has been pointed out to him more times than I can count. This is the exhaust portion. This is what's missing from his animation. The fan, yes, 90% of the thrust comes from the fan. But if you didn't burn fuel here, the fan wouldn't fucking turn. So if it weren't for this 10% of thrust that actually spins the fan that creates 90% of the thrust, then there wouldn't be any fucking thrust. That's just science. That's just math. That's common sense. The reason why they create more contrails than low bypass turbofans is because they're more fuel efficient and they have a lower exhaust temperature, which means that they produce more water vapor at a lower temperature, which freezes easier. I am, yes, that is correct. I am not affiliated with the 1%. If I were, I would not be living in a double wide, working at a sheriff's department. I'd be, floating in a pool and not giving a shit about any of this, and I would not even be on the internet. Let's be real. I'm just being 100 with you guys. I just would be like, you know what? Chemtards are stupid, and they're gonna geoengineer, but I'm rich, bitch, so I don't care. That's not the case today. Anyway, high bypass turbofan on the left, low bypass turbofan or turbojet on the right. High bypass making clouds, low bypass not making clouds. Proof of that here. Read the paper. Anyway, an altitude range exists where an A340 causes contrails while the B707 causes none. It's right there. So yes, they actually create more. What about Dane's pumps and pipes? These pumps and pipes, the ones that he's so sure. This is our proofs. Oh, by the way, it says geoengineeringwatch.org down here, but it's actually from tankerenemy.com, which is a much older website, and lookup.org. They also have it .org.uk. Get that straight. They all use the same damn picture of this, Airbus pylon drain. Don't believe me? He claims that it's a retrofitted nozzle. I'm not making this up. This isn't my words. This is his words. December 2015, Dane Wigington. Proof of retrofit aerosol spraying nozzles on Airbus jet aircraft. Video again. High bypass turbofans can't create contrails. High bypass turbofan jet engines, geoengineering, and the contrail lie. This scumbag single-handedly has destroyed all geoengineering activism. And that's why I have a beef with him. I'm attacking his ideas. I'm not attacking the person. I despise the person. I think he's a scumbag, but I would never attack him because I am a law enforcement agent and I've always followed the law. I do not violate the law, but I will mock, sully, and browbeat and just beat them up with words if I have to. Here it is, look-up.org.uk. Retrofit 3-pipe nozzle, 2015. Here's another example. Same plane. Oh, my nozzles. There's my pylon drain. Okay. Point is, yeah, that's on an Airbus. And guess what? Since Dane throws patents all through his, mockumentary, his science fiction documentary. Here's the original. This is the United States patent from Airbus operations that says that number 38 is a pylon drain, that the trailing edge serves as an aerodynamic closure, and the drain is provided with a pipe, number 38, for the collection and evacuation of parasitic liquids by connecting the assembly to the air. This is literally for oil and gas leaks to drain out of the pylon so that it does not blow up the plane. Don't believe the patent that this is not retrofitted, as he says here. It is retrofitted. What does retrofit mean? Retrofit means not created by the manufacturer. This was installed by the chemtrail Illuminati people. Don't you guys know that? Well, let's be real. This is from the Lufthansa Technical Training Manual. Yes, I got a copy of it. Jimbo Goes Hard. And you can see right here, it says pylon drains. This is the pylon, also known as the nacelle. That's what connects the engine to the wing. And these pylon drains are listed right here. Page 127, engine drains. Go to the next picture. Even more specific. Here's the pylon drain system. The engine pylon is divided into 7 compartments. Various systems are routed through these areas. Any leakage from fluid lines is drained overboard through separate lines in the rear of the pylon. Boom. That is the pylon drains. That is Dane Wigington's only, in fact, the entire freaking internet's only proof of chemtrails is this photo on these Airbus. This is an A319. You can see it right there. If you don't believe me that this stuff is real, here is the training manual, which I mirrored, and you can see that this is the training manual for the plane in the friggin' picture. Lufthansa Technical Training Manual for the A319, 320, and 321. That is literally the plane that's in the picture, the Airbus A319. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them, drink. You just really can't. What is he saying in the chat? A PTO drain standard fit. Yeah, I know. But that's not proof. That's what I'm saying, dude. Chemtrail debunker, I don't think you understand that. Like, I'm literally telling you, chemtrails are freaking full retard. And I'm explaining why currently in this video that you're watching right now that Dane Wigington is full of shit. And so are all the people who use this shenanigans to justify their belief systems. They have not done any research whatsoever. So I'm going to end with this little chart right here and maybe cover a little bit of this validation. We're going to play an outro video because it's just too funny not to. Yeah, dude. Go to Chemtrail Facts. Yeah, you're late to the show. Same team, don't fire. There you go, bro. Chemtrailfacts.com. Check that out. I made the webpage. for those who don't know, a little backstory, chemtrail debunkers on Facebook, and somebody tried to say, you should debate Jim Lee, and then we kind of had a back and forth, and I don't think either one of us really knew, the other. Doesn't matter. Same team, not same team, doesn't matter. I'll debate anybody just for the shits and giggles. But in this case, friendly fire. So, what really has caused our blue skies to change? This has been the number one question, the burning desire question that many people have. And these are the factors. There is more traffic, period. There is so much more air traffic. In 2004, there were 23 million flights per year. In 2019, there were 45 million flights per year. This number just gets ridiculously crazy real fast. So to put this into perspective, number of airline passengers per year. In 1970, we're talking about close to 300 million passengers per year. In 2019, there were 4.46 billion passengers per year. This is why there are so many more clouds. In addition to that, reduced vertical separation minimum. This is something that was implemented in 1980, I believe. It was 88. Reduced vertical separation minimum implemented in 1988. A worldwide adoption by 2011. So right about the time that What in the World Are They Spraying came out, everybody in the world adopted this, which meant that planes used to have to fly at least 2,000 feet vertically separated. They reduced that to 1,000 feet. So now you could get more planes in a tighter space that are all flying along these tracks. That plays a role here because now you can get more planes in the areas where contrails form, more planes in ice supersaturated regions, more clouds created. There are way more, regional carriers are now more likely to use jets than turboprops, so they fly higher, so more planes at contrail altitude. There are more routes now. Don't believe me? Check this crap out. 30 years. 1980, these were the flight routes worldwide. This is the United States for reference. This is 85. This is 1990. This is 2000. 2004, this is 2008. Does this not make sense to you that there would be more clouds made by planes worldwide when this is the trend in available flight routes and numbers of flights per year? Tell me it doesn't. Better example. I'm going to go down here. These are the flight routes in the U.S. These are not exact, but this is just to give you an idea. In 2004, this was the available flight routes just for the United States. People talk about seeing grids in the sky all the time. This is 1993. Okay, right here. This is 1993. This is 2004. See the difference? Look at the crisscrosses. Crisscross applesauce, tic-tac-toe, X's and O's all over your sky. Why? There are more flight routes. There are more flights. These are skyways. These are highways in the sky. Anyway, higher efficiency engines means cooler exhaust, so contrails form in a wider range of temperatures, hence a wider range of altitudes. People pay more attention to contrails because of the chemtrail theory, social media, and cameras on every smartphone. This is the part nobody, and I mean nobody, not even the scientists have even mentioned this. And this is like a no freaking brainer. Public perception plus narrative equal reality. That's what I'm showing you here. So now I'm going to show this to you in a graphic that I created. Much went into this. High bypass turbofans came into use in 1970. By 1990, 90% of all flights were using high bypass turbofans. The NATO single fuel concept conversion from JP4 to JP8 lasted from 1988 to 1996. That obviously played a role in sky pollution because JP4 was a 50-50 blend of gasoline and kerosene, whereas JP8 is 100% kerosene and has fuel additives in it. And that occurred in all NATO countries simultaneously, added to the problem. The entire chemtrail conspiracy was created by Larry Wayne Harris, and who was a bioterrorist arrested by the FBI twice for stealing anthrax. And then Richard Fink invents chemtrails on the Usenet. It was the BioWar L news group. Blames it on JP8 jet fuel, 1997. William Thomas appears on Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell, popularizes chemtrails, 1999 through 2002. Owning the Weather in 2025 came out in 1996. This also further, pushed the narrative that was pushed by Fink and Thomas and Clifford Carnicom. And then, after these were initially propagated on, Coast to Coast AM, where a whole bunch of people who stay up late listening to these, crazy ideas, that's when it really took root. And that became very popular. And then what had happened? MySpace was created in 2003. Facebook, 2004. YouTube, 2005. Twitter, 2006. iPhone, 2007. Half of the world's mobile phones have built-in cameras, 2006. This is the crash that happened in 2008. So that's why for a brief moment of time, you don't see a rapid increase in flights. And then 2009 to 2010, there's a huge increase in flights. 2010, the bomb hit the internet. That was known as the documentary, What in the World Are They Spraying? And it was just off to the races from there as planes, they're on a logarithmic curve at this point. They're just going up every single day, all the freaking time. So this is what I believe is going on here. Anyway, you can validate this yourself. You can go to adsbexchange.com. Yeah, I got an ad blocker on. I'm not turning it off. These are all the planes flying right now. It is currently midnight 04 on August 9th. It is now August 9th. I started this on August 8th around 11 p.m. It is now August 9th at 12:05 a.m. And these are all the planes in the air right now as I'm broadcasting to you live. This is the North Atlantic Corridor. All of these planes in pink are flying currently in the stratosphere. You can tell that by simply clicking on them and then seeing what their altitude is. At this latitude, you're talking about 38,000 feet. That's going to be above the stratosphere, the tropopause. Down here in the continental United States, any private jet you see is going to be flying above 40,000 feet, which is going to be usually well above the tropopause. You can determine this simply by going to any radio sign data and checking that out yourself. But this is, can I show the stats on the right side, Jim? What do you mean? This? All these? What are you talking about, Jeff? Be more specific. But anyway, you can look and you can see which planes. There's a balloon right there. At 53,000 feet, there's a balloon. Check it out. Neat. Anyway, and you can also turn and hit the U button right here and it'll show military vehicles. So these are all the military craft currently in the air. Not going to really get that on any of the other ones, but United States military, GLF, Gulfstream Aerospace, C-37. That's a C-5. You pretty much can get to know what, that's a C-130 maybe down there. No, looked like it might be one underneath it, but anyway, yeah. So C-17 right there. Bunch of those KC-135 refueling tankers. These are Chinooks or little birds. There's a Chinook. Another Black Hawk right there. So you can just come in here and drill down on that. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you can see that's a lot of freaking planes. And if you look at any given space, you're going to see that they are all following these flight tracks that we looked at earlier. And that's why we have grids in the sky. Dead Wolf. Make you a deal. I'll do a call-in show in the near future. That's a promise. Flight Radar 24, same thing. You can come over here, agree and close. It's got pretty much the same data on it. There's that same North Atlantic corridor of flights that are crossing the ocean right now. People that are just, going to sleep it off till they get in the UK or Europe tomorrow, doing those overnight geoengineering flights. Because that's what it's doing at the end of the day. When planes fly into the stratosphere, they are doing stratospheric aerosol injection. It is whitening the sky from their jet exhaust, but that ain't geoengineering and that ain't a visible cloud. So earlier we mentioned Iona Logafatu, who is the creator of the Contrail plugin, windy.com. And I give instructions on how to install that here. You can go to windy.com, and once you get here, you can come up here to the top and you can install the Contrail Finder. When you do that, after you've installed it, which I give instructions on how to do that here, step 1, step 2, just go through that till you go down here, install the Contrail Finder plugin, and you'll be able to click this link, which I bookmarked for you, that turns on all the cool features, like high clouds, where you can already see where the contrail forming regions are, where high visible cirrus clouds currently are. And then you can come up here, grab your Contrail Finder, scroll in here, and you can go to Florida, and you can click on it, and it's going to tell you this. Long, possibly persistent contrails. This means planes making clouds that will block out the sun, that will create cirrus clouds from 46,000 feet all the way down to 40,000 feet, and then from 39,000 feet down, longer contrails possible. Click over here. Let's check out Georgia in this dry area. Short contrails possible, 45,000 feet. That means tiny contrail. But if you're at 44,000 feet, longer contrails possible. If you're at 43,000 feet, chemtrails. This is what people don't understand. And there are even more complicated situations where it just keeps going, from one to the other. I'd love to find an example. I don't want to spend too much time going through this. But the point is that as the planes are flying up and they're flying down, like literally, people don't understand that that's when you're going to see a plane make a cloud, and then the cloud's going to disappear because now it's at a different altitude where there's not enough water vapor. All the information on how this is determined is right down here. And then the check marks right here, contrail persistent, these are the ice supersaturated regions where the check marks are. That's how it's coming up with the thing saying long, possibly persistent meaning going to stick around. So to all of the people who went full retard, believe that they are chemtrails sprayed from the pumps that are clearly pylon drains, you need to understand this stuff. My challenge to you is this. You go to your local area and use the Contrail Finder for a week. Here's Tennessee. They banned chemtrails too. I just clicked on Tennessee. Short contrails possible, 46, 45, 44,000 feet. Longer at 43,000 feet, 42,000 feet through 39,000 feet. Persistent contrails. Chemtrails in Tennessee. I thought they banned them. Why didn't they go away? Because physics. So, on that point, this kind of concludes where I end up on chemtrail facts, and the website is currently still under construction. I'm going to be putting a lot more work into this in the near future. Right now, I'm just working on passing the Criminal Justice Academy and, getting my sworn in as a sheriff. And I will be back at that point, and I will be the Sky Sheriff, breaking down the laws of physics. For all of you beautiful people in chat, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I want a quick reminder. Go get the book. It's pretty cheap. $16. Where has our blue sky gone? By Stella Q, Bettina Engler, and Dan Fournier. It is available at chemtrailfacts.com/book. chemtrailfacts.com/book will take you to the page. It's on lulu.com. It'll redirect you. It's only $16. It's a great read. And thank you so much to Bettina and Stella and Dan for making the book. I'm more than flattered. I'm flabbergasted. And thank you to everybody who's taking the time to watch this rather lengthy video, because I've had it up to here and I'm not done. The next video I'm going to make, we're going to really talk about what's going on in the geoengineering world, the actual geoengineering world, what's going on behind the scenes that everybody's missing, and why it is so damn important that people understand that scumbag, lying, grifting, charlatans, fear porn pushers out there who are pushing this chemtrail narrative, who are pushing all these state laws, which are completely ineffective. I applaud the effort. Good job for banning weather modification. Good job for banning geoengineering. I'm all for those things. The reality of the situation is this: it's not going to change a damn thing when it comes to planes making clouds, because contrails are real and cirrus clouds matter. That's what this website's about. Understand the terminology. Understand that weather modification, geoengineering are a real thing. Understand that planes emitting pollution, making clouds filled with acid rain, blocking out our sun, pisses me off too. But I'm at least being realistic about it. That's why I went and I testified at the EPA at a flight pollution hearing. If we treat it as flight pollution, if we talk about it with the proper terminology, we could actually do something about this. But this bullshit with the bills that were passed in Tennessee and Florida, I believe Louisiana also has one. I've got legislators from 3 other states right now wanting my advice on how to craft their laws to do something about this. And I'm trying to explain to them they can't because of the federal supremacy clause. So this is a very complicated topic. How much nuclear waste is in South Carolina? A lot. In fact, we just had nuclear wasps down at the Savannah River nuclear site just recently. Look it up. Nuclear wasps, South Carolina. It was a pretty fun story locally, in case you guys missed that. Anyway, we're gonna go out with a bang, and we're gonna just talk about that Florida ban and how it didn't work. And this video will be brought to you by Iona Logafatu. For everybody else, guys, if you appreciate the hard work I'm doing, and I'm doing all this in my spare time, and I don't work for the government, I don't work for anybody. I work for me. I work for my wife and my 2 daughters. I have a beautiful 15-year-old daughter. She's about to be 16. Oh my God. And my 9-year-old daughter. I have 2 daughters. I've been married 26 years. I work for them. That's it. And I do this for you. If you appreciate what I'm doing, please go over to connect.climateviewer.com and give a donation. At the end of September, my good friend Jeff, my meteorologist buddy, my amigo from Telegram chat, he's going to be coming down here to South Carolina and helping me build the studio. To the date, I have received about $700 in donations. We were trying to get to $5,000. If you'd like to donate to get me out of my bedroom, It is now midnight 16. I'm sure my wife would rather be in this bed right now watching this TV over top of my head. But I said, it's been a while. I haven't made a video. I need to check in with you guys. And I'm going to try to make some videos during the week. I can't promise anything because it's crazy right now. Like, I'm literally doing insane amounts of workouts, going to the shooting range, doing defensive tactics, and studying legals all damn day long. And I don't go to the Criminal Justice Academy till like the 4th of next month. So it's going to be a crazy month. But at the end of September, we're going to take whatever money we have and try to build a studio out of the shed in my backyard. So any donations between now and then will go to that. Please, please, if you appreciate my work, go to connect.climateviewer.com, pick any one of the sources, and in there, if you do donate, make sure you leave me a note and just put studio somewhere in that note so that I know that this is for the studio and I can keep track of that. And because I want to know exactly where we're at so that I can say thank you to all you guys. And with that being said, we're going to go out with a bang, and we're going to let Iona's video about those bands, those chemtrail bands. Are they effective? Are they going to work? How's it going to work out for Florida? Love you, meaning guys. Check you out on the next one. Let me start this over right here.
They said the clouds were full of spray, a secret plot flown in each day. So states rose up with banners high, take back our blue American sky. Now Florida's shouting, we'll fix the sky. Pass Senate Bill 56, 2025 with a rebel cry. Garcia cheered and Steele stood proud. DeSantis backs us, they told the crowd. 1st July was sunny and blue. They said it's working, we told you it's true. Look, it worked, they proudly said. Then a Delta flight flew overhead. They launched a hotline, call us now. Report strange clouds above your town. One poor worker, headset tight, logged 50 calls before first light. Lines in the sky came back by dawn. Who broke the ban? What's going on? Some blame Georgia, some blame DC, some just stared up helplessly. Hey, wait a sec, that ain't fair. There's still white streaks up in the air. Some blame pilots, some blame planes, some just how that skyborn changed. Tennessee tried it first, just last July. Declared their state had a chemtrail-free sky. A year went by, with streaks still true. Turns out laws don't change what physics do. You can ban the word, pass a bill or two, but physics don't care what you wish was true. Hot air meets cold at 35K. Guess what forms a big white spray? So raise your flags and toast the sky. Declare it clean with laws that lie. But come July, don't act surprised when banned chemtrails still stripe your skies.
So you tell me, do physics really care about your facts? Do facts care about feelings? All of the yes, I'll give a link to the videos. Let me go back here real quick to my chemtrail playlist, and I'll drop that link in chat right now. Bam. And basically the video you're watching right now is at the top of the playlist, followed by the chemtrail song, which we played at the beginning, and then Florida State Bill 56 right after that. Go give Iona Logofatu, the creator of the Windy Contrail Finder plugin, a follow on YouTube. And Lord knows if I click there and she's made another video, I'm gonna die right now. Okay, she hasn't made another video. But yes, please go over there and check her out. And you can also follow her on X right here at Iona Logofatu. Tell her that Jim Lee from Climate Viewer sent you, and tell her thank you so much for providing the world with such a great service with this Windy Contrail Finder plugin. And I pray that you guys will share this with other people. Try it for yourself. You will find out that you control your friends. You control the hell out of them. Everybody in Tennessee, you know, that's so mad about the chemtrails, tell them, yeah, well, I just checked, and are you near Knoxville, Tennessee? Yeah, you're gonna have it's gonna be a lot of chemtrails today, and Florida is not looking too good for you either. Checked down by Tampa. Yeah, pretty much every single plane flying in the area. Lots of chemtrails down there. Gonna really suck for you because it's accurate. That's the bottom line. This thing is accurate. I've tested it for almost a year now, and it's dead accurate. And I compare that directly to what, last little tidbit for those who've stuck it out this long. These are the actual radiosonde locations. So when you're looking at that, you can actually come in here and see what a radiosonde looks like. This is called a skew T-plot, and you can see that right here, ooh, that's right at 35,000 feet. Okay, so if I'm looking at 35,000 feet right here again, 31,000 feet, those are very close together. This is the relative humidity. This is the temperature in the red line. And where they come pretty close together, you're going to get a lot of contrail formation, period. And this is where ice supersaturated regions occur at about a 4-degree dew point depression. That's temperature minus relative humidity. So if I were to click off of that and go back to the contrail finder and then click in that same area, guess what it's going to say? It's going to say, roughly 35,000 feet, longer contrails possibly persistent. They line up all the time because they're using pretty much the same information. This is using the European model, but you can look at it, the hard facts yourself, just by going to the radiosondes themselves. And if you see something like this where they're just stuck together all the way up, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get freaking contrails at every single altitude. You can do it the hard way. You can do it the easy way. Try the Contrail Finder plugin. Go check out the playlist. Both the playlist and the book are, in the details of this video. Share the website. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell your friends, and if you can, if God has blessed you, please bless me with a donation between now and the end of September so that I can build this studio in my backyard, and then I will be able to come home and make videos more often without interrupting my family or having to do a whole lot of production in the house where I'm not really able to do that, and basically hold my whole family hostage, either waiting on me to put them to bed or, all the other things. Love you, mean it, guys. Catch you on the next one. Thank you for sticking it out to the end. You're the real ones. Peace.
Kids are impressionable. That's why here at this station, we watch the programs and commercials your child watches carefully. He may see bad guys, but not in the role of heroes. And he'll learn that crime doesn't pay. Because your child's welfare is our concern, too. That's part of our code.
Better than anything you can get without a prescription. Anything. It's the best.
I can do